Guys, Mrs. Dan's here. So really, this is just like lesson 6 where we're solving quadratic equations by factoring. It's just that our equations will look like a proportion to begin with. But we know that we can solve proportions by saying that the product of the means is equal to the product of the extremes, or we say the cross products are equal. So if we do these cross products, doing the 2 times the -4, I'm just going to write that answer down as -8. But when I do the x plus 5 times the x minus 4, I'm going to write it down as a binomial times a binomial. Now some of you like multiplying this by distributing. Others of you like this box method. Whichever method you prefer will get the same answer. So if you just multiply this through, we should get an x squared minus 4x plus 5x minus 20. And you'd get the same thing, of course, in this box method. We combine like terms and get plus 1x minus 20. Just like yesterday, we need it set equal to 0, so I'm going to add this 8 to both sides. It's all right that the 0 is on the left side instead of the right side. And now we're going to solve by factoring because we want to use that 0 product rule. We want two things that multiply to possibly equal 0, which means one of these factors is 0. It's nice that this is just an x squared because I could do x times x, and then the -12 might be 1 positive, 1 negative, of course, but it could be 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4, and like I said, one has to be positive, one has to be negative, and I recognize right away that I should use the plus 4 and the minus 3. You can check it by looking at your outers and inners, and these outers are -3x, while the inners are positive 4x, and that combines to be a positive 1x, which is what I had here. So it's definitely factored correctly. And then we learn that one of these factors must be a 0 if the product is 0. So I'm going to come over here and say maybe the x plus 4 equals 0, or maybe the x minus 3 equals 0. This is now a linear equation because the exponent of the x is a 1. If I subtract 4 from both sides, I get x is -4. If I add 3 to both sides, I get x is 3. So my solution is that x might be a -4 or it might be a 3. If I wrote it as a solution set, I'd write it in this fashion. And there we go. That's what we'll be doing tomorrow. So let's just do one more practice. We use our cross products to solve a proportion. So 7 equals 2x minus 1 times x minus 3. I'm going to distribute. So I get 2x squared minus 6x minus 1x plus 3. I'm going to get it set equal to 0. And I'm going to combine my like terms. And now I have a trinomial. This one might involve a little more trial and error because the coefficient for the x squared term is now a 2. I'm happy it's just a 2. 2 is a prime number, which means the only factors are 2 and 1. So I just made a mistake there. So I'm going to use a 2x and an x. And there's not many factors of -4. Right? One has to be positive, one has to be negative again. Of course, maybe it's a -4 and a positive one, but give something a try. I think it will be a -4 here and a positive 1 there. We'll check our outers to get a -8x, and we'll check the inners to get a positive 1x, and I get a -7x. Okay, I can usually factor fairly quickly because I try and look ahead as to what the outers and inners would be in order to work. If you have to do a few more tries, not a big deal. But now I have two factors here that multiply to be 0. So maybe the 2x plus 1 is 0, or maybe the x minus 4 is 0. I will show my work for solving this linear equation. It's linear because the exponent of the x is 1. I will subtract 1 from both sides and divide by 2. So x equals negative a half. Over here I can add 4 to both sides to get x equals 4. Written as a solution set, x might be a negative 1/2, or it might be 4. It's one or the other, not both at the same time. So that's a preview of tomorrow. Make sure you finish up your lesson 6, and I will answer any questions in class. Have a good day.